All right, here we are. My name is JL Martinez, and this is MMFM Digital. I am your host, JL Martinez, the creative director of the Miami Media and Film Market and co-host of the one and only Screen Heat Miami podcast. I have a very, very special guest today. He is a renowned local actor named Jeffry Batista, who can be seen in the upcoming feature film with John Leguizamo called Critical Thinking, where he plays one of the star chess players, Marcel Martinez. We're going to see an incredible clip of Jeffrey's acting skills in that movie, and also some other work he's done, including a short film that won the Audience Award at last year's Miami Film Festival called El Balsero, directed by Jose Navas and a good friend who produced it along with him, Jokes Yanis. What up, Jokes? Got to have you on the show as well. We're going to bring Jeffrey up in just a minute. Just wanted to thank, first of all, our friends at MMFM and Camacol, including Patricia Arias, hey Patty, Joe Chi, as well as the producer of Critical Thinking for helping us with today's guest, Carla Berkowitz. You are amazing, Carla. Thank you all for everything that you do to keep MMFM going despite the craziness. And what a crazy week it has been. I think we're going on the third week now of lockdown, and it's people are getting a little anxious, a little stir crazy. Some might even say insane. So before we kick things off, I just wanted to I put something together for you guys. It's funny. I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy. A lot of people know that from my podcast. Love Jerry Seinfeld, love Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, legends. I'm also a really big fan of Jeff Foxworthy, who is known for his You Might Be's. He's done a few of those. David Letterman also has his top 10. So, in homage to our good, funny friend Jeff Foxworthy, here are my top 10 reasons you may go insane during Corona lockdown. Here's my Jeff Foxworthy. I need a mustache, but you can pretend. If you have to endure hours of live virtual learning for your first grader, you might go insane. If your cabinet has more Tylenol than alcohol, you might go insane. If you are forced to take baking classes from your French mother-in-law via walkie-talkie, you might go insane. You need to flatten the croissant. It has to be light and fluffy. Very good. You got it, Ma. You know you're 10 feet away. You could just holler out the window. If you cannot comfortably walk naked through your own living room for fear that your wife's girlfriends will see you on FaceTime, you might go insane. Nice hot dog there, Bill. Jumbo size. If your only outing is to the grocery store to fight for the last roll of recycled toilet paper, you may be getting insane. If your only entertainment consists of binge-watching Mad About You with your wife, yes, they remade that too, or playing virtual Jenga. Dang! Woman, I ain't gonna watch that show! You might go insane. If you cannot visit loved ones because social distancing, and therefore they cannot babysit your fart-happy ferret, you might go insane. Did Stinky get into the peanuts again? If you are first to work from home and your boss is spying on your Google searches and you've been typing mean boss memes, you may be going insane. Hey, Bill, listen, can we sidebar after the 9 o'clock? I noticed some suspicious activity on your laptop. Just wanted to chat with you about it. And I'm about to go in a 10-mile unemployment line because it's better than dealing with this crap, that's for sure. If your turtles are getting more action than you because your boyfriend decided to quarantine with his buddy, you may just go insane. Come on, Speedy. You can do it, buddy. You almost there? Okay. I'm getting insane. And the number 10 reason you might go insane. If passing a 2-pound kidney stone sounds like more fun than another day of self-quarantining, you might already just be insane. That hurts. Thank you, Jeff Foxworthy, for the inspiration. thank you to all of our MFM listeners. One bit of news and one congratulations before we go into the interview. My podcast partner, Kevin Sharpley, recently, his wife at least, gave birth to their baby daughter. And I just want to congratulate Kevin. We wish you the best, man. Speedy recovery. Hope everything's doing well with the familia. The last piece of news in entertainment, Disney is in a bit of trouble. Apparently, their stocks have actually fallen. They rebounded, but they're burning through about 30 million a day. And the one saving grace and something that we have been speaking about since November was the launch of Disney Plus, which is the reason why yesterday they were able to get a small emergency loan of $5 billion from Citigroup to get them through these rough times. Good for them and good for the streaming wars, because we're going to be talking a lot more about that in the coming weeks with pros in the industry. But speaking of pros, right now it is really my absolute pleasure to bring into the broadcast actor extraordinaire, Miami and Hialeah native, Jeffry Batista. Jeffrey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, Louis, I can hear you. How are you?
All right, good, brother. Thanks for doing this today.
Of course. Anytime. Awesome. That was hilarious, by the way.
Oh, did you hear that? I wasn't sure of standby, but I guess you can hear it in the green room, our green room. Thanks, man. We have a lot more fun on the podcast because they can't see us. So now I'm trying to behave myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, obviously I've been hearing so much about you and about your work, specifically on critical thinking. But when we started chatting about bringing you onto the show, I had remembered that I had seen you last year on a short film called El Balsero, which we're going to talk about today as well. But before that, I want to learn a little, because our interviews are more about the journey. So where are you from originally, Jeffrey? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I'm Cuban, born and raised. I arrived to the U.S. in 2005. I was finishing my, how do you call it? Well, I didn't finish 12th grade in Cuba. I was doing computer science, so I got here and I had to do ESOL on 12th grade. Then I graduated, and I didn't do anything related to arts, So then a few years later, I graduated from high school. And I told a friend, and I was working at a restaurant, and I always liked music, and I like, anything that on school plays, I was always part of it back in Cuba. So a friend was like, "You have a good voice, you should, do something about it." So I started taking singing lessons, and then one thing led to another. I started singing in a band. That led to me being, nowadays singing with a band. And then a little bit after that, I was like, okay, I'm half full, but I'm not completely full. I need to start doing acting. And so a friend of mine recommended me I take classes with Cristina Reul. It was just like a vocational class. And then that led to me doing the conservatory at Miami-Dade College for Prometeo. And then I did 3 years of theater. And right after that, things just blew.
Wow.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. So you got the acting bug early on.
I'd say I'm pretty lucky because, I'm not, I consider myself young, but I'm not like super young. I'm not like 18 years old.
Right.
So I'm 32 right now. And I still think it's insane that pretty much all the work that I've done, I'm usually like a high school student. Like I'm 18,
right,
17, But yeah, it started pretty quick. Like I started working right away.
Wow. Well, I could tell. You have, I guess, what we call in the business a baby face for sure. Very handsome young man, obviously, and I can see why you're getting those roles. To play a younger person. Obviously, look, in show business, we always try to milk things as long as we can. So if you're playing 18 at 32, by the time you hit 40, you'll be just hitting your stride, I'm sure.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, man. So that's great. So yeah, I want to, like I mentioned, you did a short film that I loved. I saw it last year again at the Miami Film Festival. Balsero, Jose Navas directed it. You guys have played at a bunch of festivals, I believe, won a ton of awards for that one.
New York.
Yeah, New York as well. I know Jokes Giannis was involved. He's a good buddy of mine. So I just wanted to show folks the trailer of that movie. And then we'll hop back on the other side and you can tell me a little bit of what it was like working on that film. How's that?
Sounds great.
All right, so here it is. We're going to try this. This is Jeffry Batista starring in the short film Balsero. El Balsero.
Desde que Fidel tomó el poder, lo único que ha hecho es destruir el país, quitarnos la libertad. Yo no quiero ser un esclavo, yo quiero ser libre. Yo quiero ser libre.
Mirando al mar me pregunto, ¿qué habrá del otro lado? Tiene que haber algo mucho mejor.
Wow. That was, oye, to use my Hialeah, eso estaba fuera de liga. Congratulations.
I was reading that you graduated from Hialeah High School, right?
Yep, a few years before you did. But yeah, I'm a Hialeah, I'm a T-bred. Yeah.
That's where I graduated from, and it was so cool to actually be filming there a few years later. The movie of John Leguizamo, yeah. Anyways, talking about Balsero.
Yeah, so Balsero, obviously it's a powerful movie. I get chills every time I see the clip because, you know, obviously like you mentioned, I'm from Hialeah. My father is Cuban, and I've heard all the stories since I was a kid about how some people have had to take that very treacherous path, you know, to get to the US to find, you know, freedom. And, you know, I think that the way this film was depicted, very realistic. I love that it was very period, sort of right after the revolution, I believe, and just kind of showed what our parents or grandparents' generations went through. So what was it like for you? What personal experiences did you draw upon as an actor to play that role?
Well, I mean, I got to know Reynaldo Cruz, which is the actual character of the movie. You know, it's based on a true story, and it was not just him, the one that came on a raft. It was like him and 4 others. But you know, in order to make it into a short film, they had to kind of like twist a little bit. But I mean, it's not just that time. That just continued along the years, and many people died in the ocean because of, you know, these kind of exile way that people were using to leave the country. And I mean, I myself been trying to leave the country. When my first time going to the American embassy was in 1996, and we were denied. That was pretty hard for me and my mom because my grandparents were here since 1990. So then we kept trying, and finally in 2005, that's when we were able to come. So through all those years, we were looking at other different ways of coming here, and one of those that we were considering was coming on a raft too. So it hits pretty close. But then just getting to know people that actually went through it, and people who lost their families because they decided to take the chance. It's pretty, you know, I always tell the story that there are shots in which I had to stay in the ocean by myself on top of the raft, which was actually a real raft. And I was by myself in the middle of the ocean. So they were shooting some scenes with the drone. And as an actor, I had to tap into the emotion, and I would look the other way instead of like looking to the shore. And I really imagined myself all by myself in the ocean and looking at just water and sky, and it was frightening. It was very scary.
Yeah, no, it's terrifying. I mean, obviously, for anyone that's been through it, or even as an actor, to kind of put yourself in that position and realize just how scary it is to see nothing but water around you. Obviously, the stories of the sharks, you see this beautiful overhead shot of the sharks swimming right under your raft in this tiny little inner tube. And there was, I don't know if there still is, a museum in Key West that has a bunch of these rafts that have made it to shore. and I saw it one time, and it's just incredible. Not only how small these crafts are, but how much they held together, and just to the ingenuity of the Cuban people to put this together that actually could survive that 90-mile journey was it's incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Sure.
So yeah, congrats on that. And then I want to jump into your new movie that should be coming on soon. I know we're all on hold right now in the business, as we know, but you guys were slated to have your world premiere at the South by Southwest Film Festival for a little Miami movie called Critical Thinking. You play Marcel Martinez, who's one of the star chess players, right?
That's correct.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to throw the clip up there. We showed it once before because I don't know if you remember last week we had your inspiration, the real Marcel Martinez, on the show, and we showed this clip. Everybody loved it. So I want to show it for the second time now. But now knowing Jeffry Batista is the chess player that plays this, you can describe more what it is. I call it blind chess or blindfold chess, and then we'll talk about it. All right, here we go. Critical thinking.
D5 takes E4.
Dama por D8 jaque. Pawn to G6. Dama por G6 jaque.
Bishop B6.
Caballo F6 jaque.
Caballo B4.
A3.
King takes D8.
Caballo E5.
Oh, he checked me.
Pawn takes queen at G6.
Alfil por G6 jaque mate.
Z-pawn takes knight.
Alfil por F6 jaque.
Jaque, but
Caballo
whatever.
toma el peón en D5.
Caballo A4.
Unbelievable, man.
That's amazing. It's the T. We're serious now.
D5.
All right, we're back in. Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats. Just a beautiful scene. Now that was shot at Hialeah High?
That was shot at Hialeah High.
I remember that classroom, I think.
Oh.
Might have been AP chemistry, I'm not sure.
Well, I can tell you, like, right on the entrance to the left, a little bit down the hall on the left side, but no, I didn't take classes there.
Sure. Right. Yeah, no, it's because as you know, Hialeah High is a very old school, which is part of the reason why I believe the production chose it. The story, for those that don't know, takes place in 1998, I believe, right? So it's it's about 22 years ago, and since then, I believe that Jackson High, which is the real school, has undergone a lot of construction and looks like a brand new school now, right? So the fact that so the fact that you have a school like Hialeah High, which was built, I think, in the 50s, which still has, at least the main building still looks like it did back in those days, required a lot less art direction. You guys had a great art director, by the way. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about critical thinking. How did you land that gig?
Well, it's funny because my agent, JL Pina, from Colombia, she believes a lot in me, and she's like, okay, you have to do this audition. It's self-tape. And those are my favorite because I get very nervous when I go to a face-to-face audition. So I got a friend of mine it was supposed to be sent on Thursday, and I'm like, okay, I'm late. Can you ask them if I can send it Friday, like the next day? And she's like, okay, I'll try to do that. So then I got my friend. It was a hustle. I had my cousin to put some makeup on me because I had to look younger. Then when the camera hit me, I'm like, damn, this looks awful. So I took it off, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do it like this. And I did my audition. It was like 3 little clips. Sent it, and I don't remember exactly how long after. She's like, John Leguizamo is the director, and you're on a second call. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I still can't believe it to this day. So she's like, yeah, you're on call. You're for a second call. And I'm like, okay. And how do we do this? Oh, he's gonna FaceTime you. And I'm like, no, you're kidding.
Wow.
So yeah, he FaceTimed me, and I was, when I sent the clips, I'm like, okay, this is the best I can do as far as like what I have, But then the FaceTiming, they sent a script for some lines that I had to say. I'm like, damn. And 15 minutes later, they were already calling me on FaceTime. I'm like, hey, how are you? It's Leguizamo. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Let's do this. So I read the whole thing twice, and then you know how that goes. Okay, thank you so much. That's it. I'm like, okay, that was a good story, but then that's it. This is the end.
Right.
I think like 2 days later, my agent calls. She's like, okay, they're offering you the role, and I'm like, no.
Wow.
For a Cuban guy that got here when he was already 18, who had like, I wouldn't say no aspirations, but like I didn't have that in mind. You know what I mean? And it's a testimony that anything you want, you can achieve it. All you gotta do is like never give up. That's my mojo. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, that's a pretty good mojo if you get cast off of a FaceTime. So there was no live audition. It was literally just the phone, the video chat.
It was the first one was a self-tape, and then the second one was
the FaceTime
reading. Yeah.
Wow. And so so what was it like meeting John and the rest of the team in person for the first time?
I'll always say this. Before I met John, I had looked at some clips of him. Of course, I had seen movies of him. You know what I mean? But I knew he had some deal with Patrick Swayze, and then also what's this other guy, the Steven Seagal, something like that. So I was like, this looks like a pretty like hard to work with man. On the contrary, he was the most humble, down to earth. Like he was never on a bad mood. He was always down to work. Honestly, I don't ever remember the only it was not a criticism, or it was not a direction, but he was like, Jeffrey, you have an accent. Because I was pushing my accent a little bit more, because when you listen to Marcel, he speaks perfect English, but his accent is very strong. So I tried to like go to his place, not replicate it, but tap into that. But it's like, you already have an accent. Like,
right.
You
don't have to add anything extra, is what he was saying. Are you gonna say, by the way, John? I don't know if you noticed, but you have a little bit of a New York accent yourself, pal.
No, but he's like, no, but it wasn't a funny way. He's like, I don't know if you know this yet, but you have an accent. And I'm like, yeah, I know. But it was amazing. I had the best time, not just with him, but with everybody. Carla, I love Carla. He's just an amazing person.
Yeah.
And the rest of the crew, I remember from the camera people to the makeup and hair, everybody's saying how well the whole cast and crew, the whole came together.
Sure.
That it was a beautiful team, and it was. And it was pretty. It was a pretty fast work. We shot it in like less than a month, so it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I remember that production. I remember meeting Carla and John and the whole team at Hialeah Park Studios, where you guys also shot a bunch of scenes from the movie at the racetrack, and we had such an amazing time with everyone. And it was our first big movie under the Hialeah Park Studios, so no one really knew what to expect, because it'd been about I would say 20 years since the last major movie shot there. And so it was new for everyone, but just working with everyone, the minute we met Carla and John and you guys, the actors, like it was just like love at first sight. And knowing that so many of the actors were from Hialeah and were shooting in Hialeah, it felt like family. So I'm very happy that happened.
Wait. Did you go to the Hialeah racing track where the casino is?
Yeah, that's Hialeah Park.
I think I remember you there.
Yeah, I wore a hat. It's a black baseball cap.
But I think I remember you there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think I remember you there.
Yeah.
Now I'm remembering.
Now it's all the gears.
Yeah, it took me a little bit of time, but I got it.
Yeah, but it was great to have. And obviously I haven't seen the film yet. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm so excited for you guys. I know that once that film does get out, and I mentioned this last week, I think that you're going to be in front of millions of eyeballs all over the world. And because it's a true story and a Miami story, obviously I'm always going to root for that. But it's such a universal story and it's such a timely story because nowadays, I think more than anything, we need hope. We need in the story that it tells of these inner city kids doing what they did and overcoming the odds. In your story of becoming an actor and how you got your roles and where your career is going and overcoming the odds, like overcoming the odds, I think has become the most important thing in everyone's life now. So
yeah, I mean, this whole Corona thing, which we don't want to like go into that too much right now, but it put the South by Southwest Film Festival on hold. But we're good. We're safe. We're home, and that's what's important. And we'll have the exposure. I honestly, I hope that it happens. Not only because honestly, for me, although I just shot another movie with Lilo Villaplana, and there's projects that are, thank God, always popping up. It represented, at least for me, my big breakthrough in the American market. If you know what I mean.
Right.
I've done stuff in Spanish and stuff like that. But I mean, that compared to what it means to Carla, which for 20 years have been trying to get this done. I honestly, I don't know. I want it to happen for me, for sure. But I definitely want it more because of what it represents, not only for her, but for the other kids. In this case, Marcel. I don't know if you know, but I met Marcel before the movie. I went to his house. I met his wife. We played chess.
Wow.
He taught me a lot of things, movements. It was a great experience.
I'm sure. I mean, there's not oftentimes that an actor gets to actually meet with the person they're playing and actually interact with that on such an intimate level. So that must have been great for you in terms of research.
Yeah, it was. And not only that, but I honestly feel like because everybody got to meet the character they were playing. I don't think it was the same case for Cedric because he didn't live in Miami. But for everybody else, we got to meet them. But I feel like I got the bestest of the friendships. We clicked. He's just a great guy. Great guy.
Wow. No, yeah, he seemed, like I said, when getting a chance to talk to him last week, he just seemed like such a genuine person, and you could really tell how passionate he was about how chess really helped his life. And obviously, as you mentioned, not many people go on to become professional chess players, but how it really opened the door for his life and as well as some of the other students at the time. So just an all-around inspirational story. I'm going to ask you one more question before I let you go, if that's okay.
Right.
I want to ask you, what's your ideal next role, and does it include playing someone older than yourself?
Well, I guess,
I'm saying milk the young thing. That's important.
I wouldn't mind at all. I mean, I'll play anything. But I mean, in Lilo's Villaplana, I play like a 30-something guy.
Well, there you go.
But I've always wanted to play someone who's like crazy, like mentally ill person, like schizophrenia, like something like that, like very introverted and like crazy. I don't know how to explain it, but I watch clips of like mental health problems and just because I think it's interesting, and then I feel for people who are born like that or that develop schizophrenia because I remember hoping I turn 30 because they say that after 30 you cannot become schizophrenic. Usually is
Oh, really?
it happens before 30. Yeah, piece of information for you. I'm just kidding.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I guess we're safe.
Right? But yeah, because I mean, most of the homeless people are mentally ill person. So I feel like it's so interesting that I want to tap into that. It's different, you know. It's not just the regular. It's not just oh, I love it, you know, like the drama or the comedy. It's different. It's dark.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, obviously, instantly when you said that, I thought of Joaquin Phoenix and Joker, which I've talked about a lot.
That's amazing. And listen, and before we leave, because I spoke about John Leguizamo with critical thinking and stuff like that, I want to thank also Jose Navas for believing in me for El Balsero. I remember when I was auditioning, he started laughing. It was a just a small audition where he's like, okay, here's what it is. Just give me whatever you think you can do with this. And then he was so proud of it. He even published it on his Instagram and everything. But I remember when I finished, he's like, I think I'm gonna give this to you. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you, please.
Wow.
Because that was like literally my first gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. And like I said, it's a great film. You mentioned Lilo's movie called Plantados, I believe. And that one's going to be really good too. So I'm excited. Obviously, you know, that has to do more with political prisoners in Cuba, right?
That movie is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Wow.
A bunch of great actors, like Cuban actors, but there's like un Boricua in it too. And
right.
But the story of these people, this is what I like about, and I don't know if you have time, because I'm talking a lot, but what I like about the work that I've done is that usually it's like real events, and it's based off of someone. El Balsero is based off Bernardo. Critical thinking, Marcel. Plantados is, you know, Plantados is a fictional character of mine because he's from the, you know, this era, but the other characters are like real characters,
right?
You know, from the past. And when I did Leyenda del Exilio, I was, oh my God, I cannot forget his name now because I'm kidding myself. But anyways, there.
We'll put it in the comments later. Well, as soon as you think of it, you would just Facebook comment.
For sure.
But
yeah, I wanna like do like a fictional character now.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. Works of fiction are great, and obviously more in terms of your own creativity in creating a character. So, but yeah, I think so far everything I've seen you in, at least the trailers and the short film, you've been great. I think you are a star on the rise. We're proud to call you a Hialeahan and a Miamian now, in addition to being a Cuban. I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of great things from you, Jeffrey. So thanks for doing the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me, man.
Awesome, brother. All right, we'll catch you soon, and I'm gonna wrap up now, and we'll be back on the other side. Thanks, Jeffrey.
Great.
Dale.
Bye-bye.
All right, there you have it. Jeffry Batista, very talented actor. This was our MMFM Digital today. As you can see, every interview very similar to our MMFM. We have one-on-ones with actors, with filmmakers, producers, writers, all the top Hollywood people, and we have a slew of amazing guests that were slated to be at MMFM 10 this June, and now you get to see all of them from the comfort of your living room, or in my case, my broom closet. And so until the next time, I'm JL Martinez, the creative director of MMFM, co-host of Screen Heat Miami, and we'll see you in the streaming wars. Until then, happy streaming.